It was a wild ride for Jeff Beck. The legendary guitarist passed away on January 10, 2023, and his musical journey was never easy for him. But before we continue, show some rock and roll love by giving us a thumbs up below and hitting that subscribe button and bell icon so you'll never run out of the best classic rock content on the internet. And be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. Jeff Beck had a difficult life following his dismissal during his stay at the Yardbirds. I had to go home, and that was probably the worst because I had nothing. I'd given my guitar to Jim, and I was living back with my mom with no money. Beck recalls the nightmare he had experienced during the Yardbirds' visit in the US, which, during this point, was the last straw he had endured with the band before he left. Jeff Beck is the perfect choice for the replacement of Eric Clapton, another guitar god. His tenure in the band became a starting point. During this time, he delivered a different style in which the Yardbirds embraced their psychedelic side and created hits more than they can imagine. However, Beck wasn't happy at all times, and everything unraveled when they hit the jackpot of going to America. In the US, the Yardbirds were still viewed as a pop group, blending in the likes of the Beatles as part of the British invasion effect of the Americans. Such a stereotype didn't sit well with Beck, whose main goal was to create the weirdest noise he could and cement the idea of the Yardbirds' supremacy. Drummer Jim McCarty shared something on the history of Beck inside the band in an interview from Something Else in 2015. We were contracted to do a Dick Clark tour, which meant playing about 30 nights in a row, maybe more than one show a night, traveling in a bus with all the other bands. Not the best decision for us, as the other bands were all so different. Gary Lewis, Sam the Sham, the drummer said. Jeff couldn't take it and disappeared after the first show. That was it, as far as we were all concerned. Following a series of arguments and numerous MIAs, the band decided on Beck's career to be over. Different stories spiraled, but the most obvious one was by the end of November. An official statement was released by the group to confirm that Beck will no longer be part of the Yardbirds. It was at this point that Jimmy Page stepped up to become the lead guitarist, and therein lies the beginning of the third era. Meanwhile, Beck's firing didn't give him any luck at first. In 2018, the guitarist admitted to feeling lost after the Yardbirds. "I hadn't realized that by leaving the band, I didn't know where to go," he said, but he never imagined himself ringing the telephone and asking to come back with them again. When you get kicked so hard, you realize there's a serious wake-up call, and then you get up and do something about it. I thought, okay, you need to get cracking now, Beck added. That's when a new ray of light shone in front of the musician, upon his sudden meeting with singer Rod Stewart. The two met at a bar and discussed their misfortunes, as Stewart was also recently got kicked out of his John Baldry's band. They spent their time on the Science Museum the next day and talked about the possibility of creating a band, thus the emergence of the Jeff Beck Group. Did you enjoy this piece of classic rock history? We got loads more for you in our channel, so go ahead and visit us. Subscribe, hit that like button, and click that bell icon so you'll never run out of the best rock and roll content there is. So see you on the next one? Alright, rock on!